And who do you want on the mound? The kid, Yordano Ventura. He's 23. He's a rookie. Is he a flamethrower? You bet. He averages 97 with a fastball. He will hit triple digits. The Royals won 12 of his last 14 starts. And look at this note. He's the first Royals rookie to start a World Series game at any position as they play in their third. 1980, 1985, and now 2014. And it's going to be fun to watch him navigate this lineup. And here it is, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. We'll go in threes. Gregor Blanco, Joe Panic, Buster Posey at the top. Same look. Who's in the middle? Pablo Sandoval, Hunter Pence, Brandon Belt. And then the bottom three. Michael Morse, DH, Travis Ishikawa in left, and Brandon Crawford is the shortstop, batting ninth. And there he is, number 30 from the Dominican Republic. And an overall record of 14-10 during the regular season. He came out of the bullpen, guys, in that wild card game. He's made 2 starts since, 2 no decisions. But he is a handful for any team to try and figure out.
Well, I think early velocity will not be a problem. We'll see him hit triple digits. If we look at the defense here, can he maintain velocity is the key.
Alex Gordon is in left. Lorenzo Cain is in center. Over and right, it's Aoki. We'll stay on that side. Eric Hosmer is at first. Omar Infante at second. On the left side, it's Alcides Escobar, the shortstop. And Mike Moustakas over at third. The catcher is Salvador Perez with Ventura in the middle. When he brings it, the opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball.
Here we go. I can't wait to watch him throw a fastball. You'd be stunned when it jumps on the hitter at 100 miles an hour. You think he's going to hit 100 first pitch, Joe?
I think he'll get close. He'll get there at some point. And he actually has a little pop after he lets his pitch go. Only weighs 180. But he puts all 180 behind it. 96, and he will climb from there. Ball 1.
Changeup.
His changeup is 90, by the way. One ball, one strike on Gregor Blanco. Eric Cooper. Crowd wanted it behind home plate. Let's see.
I think I want that if I'm pitching. It's a little high, but you obviously want that pitch when you're pitching. You don't want it when you're hitting.
2-1. Fouled away. 2-2.
Now we're going to talk a lot about the velocity and how high he throws. 100, 96, 97. The reason it's so important for him is he can make mistakes down the middle and still get away with it because you can't catch up to it and square it up.
Good rip by Blanco. You saw that our broadcast is streaming live on the Fox Sports Go app, foxsportsgo.com, and for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes.
Joe, he looks very much under control as opposed to when his first postseason appearance against Oakland. He said he got a little too excited, gave up a home run, told Ned Yost, I'll never let that happen again.
I like the shake-offs right there because 2-2, you know he's coming back with a fastball. He doesn't want to go 3-2 and the hitter knows what's coming, but you put another thought in the hitter's mind.
Full count. Jared Wright. Heard his name in a while. Kansas City and this crowd packed in here, pinning their hopes on the kid. And a good at bat here, put together by Gregor Blanco, who last night, you said it early, Harold, set the tone with a leadoff hit, rounded the bag, Came back, tagged up on a fly ball by Panic, scored a run, the first of the night. Here he is trying to work his way on to start game 2. That's hammered into right. You want to silence a crowd? Do that. Home run, Gregor Blanco. His first in the postseason and a jolt to start game 2. Do these guys like fastballs, Tom Verducci?
They especially like them at 2 straight counts. I mean, it's the toughest team to put away. I don't care if it's 97 or 98, the last 2 pitches Blanco saw. One fastball after another, and Blanco, by the time he got to the 6th one, had a time.
Now it's rookie on rookie, strike 1.
A shocker. You don't expect Blanco to leave the house like that. It was a no-doubter.
First since September 22nd for Blanco. He hit 5 during the regular season. And you talk about a guy, he's not going to get the headlines. Guys like Posey, Sandoval, Pence, Bumgarner, the bullpen, they'll get him for San Francisco. But Blanco has done well. Offensively, defensively, playing for the injured Angel Pagan. The play he made defensively in the first inning in the bottom half was a big one last night on a ball that was pounded by Hosmer. Fly ball into right. Aoki is back to grab it. That is out number 1.
Here's the home run, 3-2. He knows what's coming, and right down Broadway, and he crushed it. You know, we've been fortunate in our crew to follow the National League this year, and we've watched Blanco come on. You could see the last 2 or 3 games against the Cardinals, the bat was starting to come around, but he plays situational. He takes pitches when he needs to, and he lets the bat fly when the opportunity's there, like that right there.
Now Buster Posey takes a strike at 100 from Ventura. First ever home run to lead off a World Series game by a Giant in their great history. And it belongs to Gregor Blanco. And the numbers back you up, Harold, because over the last 5 postseason games, Blanco was hitting 300 before he just went deep into right. Here's a 1-1. This tonight, guys, is going to be a much different game than we saw last night. Bumgarner did his thing last night. Jake Peavy does not have good numbers individually against the Kansas City Royals or collectively against the Kansas City Royals. I think he's got a tough task here tonight.
I agree. I think it's a fasten your seatbelt night. We're going to have some offense, and Blanco got us off and run.
2 out.
Well, here it is, coming in fast. 98, going out faster. 101.
I think the one thing we've watched Ventura do is he came back and started throwing changeups to Panic. We saw 2 back-to-back, and then Buster Posey, we saw the breaking ball. So, yeah, I think he learned real quick. I can't sit here and throw fastballs by people.
That's why earlier in the night, Tom, he talked about not just the changeup, but what can be a very tight knee-buckling curveball that Ventura can feature.
Really has to throw that for a strike to be successful.
That one misses outside to Sandoval. Harold talked about him in the opening. He's got 18 career postseason RBIs. He has reached base in 24 straight postseason games. And he's up on the count here, 2-0.
I think he gets overlooked because he is on a team with Buster Posey and Pence and a lot of personalities. Bumgarner. This guy has been the glue in the middle.
3 for 5 last night, late on that at 96, and it's 2-1. There's no doubt, and we talked to Pablo before the game, that his impending free agency was weighing on his mind earlier in the season. But he's now having fun. The numbers are there. He seems to be making more money with every at-bat in October. It started with a bang. Last night, the Giants got 3 in the first. And tonight, for that man, Jake Peavy, Gregor Blanco on a 3-2 pitch. Puts San Francisco on top. Here we go for Kansas City. Their lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Top 3. Escobar, Aoki, Kane in the middle. Hosmer, Butler, Alex Gordon. And on the back end, it's Salvador Perez, Omar Infante, and Mike Moustakas. He's had a good postseason so far. Here's Jake Peavy, who started the year with Boston, the team he was with last year when they won it all in 2013, and it's been very good of late since Peavy was reunited with his first manager, Bruce Bochy, coming back to the National League with the Giants.
There's a guy who's going to give you everything he's got for as long as he can. Lately, it hasn't been too long. 7 career starts, yet to finish 6 innings.
Ball outside to Escobar.
But Joe, that's not a problem tonight for Bruce Bochy because of Madison Bumgarner. Saved the bullpen last night, affected this game. With the day off tomorrow, bullpen ready to go.
Fouled back. Keep the name Yusmeiro Petit in mind. That's a guy who we may see before this night is through because of the numbers that Tom just gave you. Peavy will go as hard as he can for 4 or 5 innings, and then Bruce Bochy will dig into that good bullpen. That's inside, 2-1.
You're waiting for that Royal offense to do something. When Escobar moved into the leadoff spot the last 15 games of the season, they took off. The change was good for him. He's aggressive. He knows he's going to get fastballs to the top of the order, but it transformed their lineup. And now you can move Aoki to the 2 spot.
That's hard hit. Right at Crawford, can't make the play. And the leadoff man is on for Kansas City in the first.
That's a prime example, Jones. He hits a bullet. This is going to bounce up. Crawford tries to stay with it. He sits down. It's one of those going to hit up the tip of his glove and roll up and out. It's a one-hop bullet. You know how hard it's hit. You try to gauge it, and you're also thinking about how am I going to get to my feet as you're fielding that ball. Just got away from it.
Especially tough play because you lose sight of the ball. The glove goes up in front of the face and the eyes. Just hope it sticks, and it didn't.
It's a base hit.
That last play live made you see how tough that hop was.
A check on Escobar. He stole 31. And again, that common theme for Kansas City this postseason. The stolen base. As Escobar is banging the dirt out of his spikes with his helmet. Kansas City led the big leagues with 153 steals. And if it wasn't in play last night because of the pitching of Madison Bumgarner, stolen base is on the menu for game 2. Strike 1 on Aoki.
I think Peavy is a prime candidate to run on as a base stealer. Even when he has his slide step or abbreviated delivery, he still lifts the leg high enough where you can get a good read. The problem is he's got great quick feet. And so he will hold a runner with his spin move to first.
Aoki pops it up. Shallow right center, long run. That's Blanco. 1 on, 1 out.
And when Peavy's on, you'll see a lot of those. An extreme fly ball pitcher. I'm with you, Harold, on Peavy. He's got very quick feet, and also you saw those last 2 sequences holds the ball for a very long time. Since he joined the Giants, just 1 stolen base out of 4 on Jake Peavy.
Here's Lorenzo Cain. Last night 0 for 2, reached base twice. Coming off his MVP tour through the ALCS. At 533. Big guy, does not have a ton of power. Hit 5 home runs this season. Strike 1.
Yeah, and I think the home runs are going to come. When you look at this guy, his physique tells you he's got power. This is just an athlete written all over. Didn't start playing baseball until high school. And he's still learning the game, but man, he's got some tools.
He's 28. When he didn't play baseball, as you said, till he was a sophomore. Cut from the basketball team. His mom said no to football. So he gave it a shot with the baseball team, and here he is. 17th round pick by Milwaukee in 2004. Tallahassee Community College. Part of the trade here to Kansas City, and a centerpiece now. That is down the right field line. Long run for Pence. It is foul for strike 2. You look at the defense for the Giants. Same look. Ishikawa in left. In center, it's Gregor Blanco, and over and right, he just is getting back to his position. Hunter Pence. Brandon Belt at first. Joe Panik, the rookie, at second. Brandon Crawford couldn't handle that smash from Escobar. Sandoval at third. Great hands. Buster Posey, the catcher. Peavy on the mound.
I like the sequence we showed on the ground ball to Crawford. On the slow-mo, you go, how does he not catch that ball? Then the full speed, you saw the hop and shoot up on it. But you made a great point about Peavy holding the runner. I think that's the best way to shut down a running game. You can try slide steps, everything else. Guys have a tendency to lean. But when you hold the ball, you make the runner hold, and your feet start to sink in like that right there. And the other reason he almost got him, I think he's peeking at the sign at the catcher. A lot of times you get that lead, and you get a position as a base runner where I can sit and I can peek. And next thing you know, I got the pitcher out of the corner of my eye, and he's coming over.
Escobar almost picked off with those good feet by the 33-year-old Jake Peavy.
See how he's peeking in to get the sign for the catcher? He's trying to pick up a breaking pitch.
He's more on his toes here.
So what you do when you're getting that lead, and you're peeking, you got to get to a point where out of your peripheral vision, you know you can get back. So you're trying to pick up that breaking ball. And if you got a pitcher like Peavy who's quick and he's coming over, you got to just eliminate that, get your lead, go back to your basic keys.
Starting to stop on a pitch inside, and Lorenzo Cain.
You saw Buster Posey, one sign. You've seen a lot of teams in this postseason. Baltimore, Kansas City, you'll see do it. Go through a series of signs as if there's a runner on second base. Giants, runner on first, base is empty. Traditionally, they'll stick with one sign.
Thrown by Posey, bounces, got him at second. Buster Posey gets his first of the World Series. And Escobar looks into the dugout. They'll go into their replay room, the Royals will, to see if this is something they want to challenge.
Well, I like the way Panik built this ball. Now, I'm not sure if he's safe or out. We'll see on the replay. But look where Panik's positioning is. Because the position he's in, it gives that ball a chance to travel. See the ball travel? Now he comes down with the tag. And I don't know if he got him or not, but I think that's going to be hard to overturn.
I think they're going to stick with it. No challenge. 2 out, nobody on, and a 2-2 count on Cain. And you can see right there the glove hits the left leg of Escobar for out number 2. Good throw by Posey. Got rid of it fast, and Panik with a good tag.
I can't say enough about the play by Panik to catch a short hop and put the tag down. But I think it was the positioning of how he fielded that ball and straddled the base.
And all the work that Jake Peavy put in that sequence. The holds, the pickoffs, the step-offs, giving Buster Posey a chance.
So now the 2-2. Down and away, a full count.
Here's the tag again. This ball's going to shoot. Look at the position he's in. He's got both hands ready to knock it down. He catches it. And now he's got to go back and present the tag. But because where he was at and reading the throw, he was able to make this play. He got it. Joe.
Got him on the leg. 3-2. Good rip by Kane.
But do you see the excitement that was created with him being on base? The throwovers, the pitches that they had to throw to Kane, the chaos it created in that little bit of time is why you run. And we'll see it continually. It had to be bang, bang, perfect to get it.
That's a Royals game. That's why they're here. 3-2 pitch. That's hammered into the gap in left center. It is past Ishikawa. Kane is going to test Blanco and make it with a double.
I love the two-out gamble right there. 2 outs, get yourself in scoring position if you can. Now I know he has the ability to steal a base, but this is a nice at-bat. Hammers the ball. And right here, you're making up your mind. He's got to spin and throw it, make it perfect to get you.
These guys can all run. Lorenzo Kane, the big body, the 28 steals. And clearly safe at second, and now the crowd back in it. Here comes Hosmer. Royals over their last 3 postseason games are 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Nicely played by Posey. Ball up. There are a lot of guys in this Royals lineup with good numbers against Jake Peavy. Peavy was with the White Sox, same division, before he was traded to Boston last year. Hosmer now one of them, 4 out of 21.
Just in case you're wondering about a pitch around here with a right-hander on deck, Billy Butler wears out Jake Peavy. 424 lifetime and 33 at-bats.
Outside, 3-0.
How's a guy swinging when he's facing the guy? Right now, Hosmer's swinging great. Throw the numbers out. He's locked in.
Is he cutting loose on 3-0? A 4-pitch walk. Those numbers Tom talked about. Billy Butler, 14 out of 33, 3 homers in his career against Jake Peavy.
Saw Bumgarner attack him with soft stuff last night. See if Peavy doesn't throw a lot of sliders lately. Probably more the cutter away on Billy Butler.
Now the thought process of the hitter is keep the numbers in because I'm lost in on this guy. Use it to your advantage.
Strike one and a big swing by Butler, who has not gone deep this postseason.
Just a nasty sinker right here. Comes back over the plate, but the downward movement is enough to miss the bat of Billy Butler. Great pitch.
First-round pick Butler back in 2004. First came up in 07. Went off a career low in home runs and RBIs during the regular season. He backs out. Peavy really slowing it down. We are in for a long night of baseball here in game 2.
No doubt. And Billy Butler took a shot there. But look at the hole between first and second. He can shoot a ball that way with the best of them in the big league.
Hard hit. Base hit. Here comes Kane. Ishikawa's throw is too late. Tied at 1.
Look, you take a shot, and then you come back and you know you hit the guy well. He stays up the middle and drives the ball past the shortstop.
What a challenge for Ishikawa playing this big left field. A first baseman moved to the outfield in the last week of the regular season. And you saw Hosmer running towards third base to influence the throw to make sure the run scores. You see the runner Kane at the hold up to make sure it wasn't cut. Hosmer's almost giving himself up. And Ishikawa is throwing the ball home.
Now it's Alex Gordon, first and third, 2 out, tie game. Popped up, left side, long run, Ishikawa. He is there and in foul ground has it to end the inning. That was the first Kansas City hit with a runner in scoring position since game 2. Alonco now deals with Hunter Pence and gets the inside corner this time, strike 1. The Giants scored in the top of the first this postseason, 6-0. San Francisco when they score first. Royals tied it. Here's the 0-1. How about some heat at 99? It's 0-2. And it's easy. When he throws 99, 100 miles an hour, and it looks easy for Ventura.
Just effortless. And you're right, Joe. And I like the phrase you use, a do-over, because that's how he's going to look at it.
Oh, 99. Not that close, but it got Hunter Pence's attention.
What'd you say about easy? Reached back for a little more on this one. Shook off the breaking ball. He wanted to go to this fastball. Hello, Hunter Pence.
To be fair to that helmet, that hair is pushing it off his head.
Came back with a great pitch. You knock him down and then you come back and throw that. It's not even fair. That's just dirty.
And
he busts him 99 and then comes back and throws a hook at it. Here's the ball up and in on it.
And a good job by Pence just to get a piece of that last pitch. He's set up at 1-2. Ventura's got a strikeout. That's into right center. Will hang up for Kane. 1 out. We saw Ventura in the first inning in the final out not even realize it was the 3rd out. Is he amped up tonight? For more on Ventura, down to Kenny Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, we talked last night about how fearless Ventura was, how he would rise to the occasion. Well, Royals pitching coach Dave Island told me before the game that his main concern was calming Ventura down. When he gets overexcited, overamped, he starts to overthrow and loses command of his breaking stuff. And as Tom said earlier, he needs that breaking stuff to succeed.
Against this Giants lineup, there's a strike at 97 to Brandon Belt, who has quietly been hot over the last 15 games, going back to the regular season, hit .333, dealt with 2 concussions and a broken thumb during the course of the season.
What did he run into? Mercy.
Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hard to believe now looking at Ventura. When the Giants signed him, 16, 17 years old, according to Ventura, he weighed about 120 pounds and threw about 86 miles an hour.
His manager, Ned Yost. Here's a reaction, by the way, that you picked up, Harold. At the end of the first inning, he makes the play.
Well, he makes the play here, and now that's the third out of the inning. Everybody's jogging out. You look over and say, oh, there's my third baseman. What's he doing? He says, uh-oh. Back now. Focus.
He's got another hitter at 1 and 2. That's foul. Good rip by Belt. Home plate umpire tonight is Eric Cooper. Jim Reynolds at first. His first World Series. Ted Barrett at second. First World Series for Hunter Wendelstedt. Jeff Kellogg is the crew chief. He's in the left. And Jerry Meals worked the plate last night. He's in right tonight. He will head east to New York to the replay room. And Jeff Nelson will join this series in San Francisco. 2 and 2.
It's not just the players excited about the World Series. Eric Cooper here for the first time. He got the phone call from Joe Torre. Eric was on the road at home in his home state of Iowa. He said he nearly drove off the road. And what a year he had. Only 3 replay reversals all year for Cooper.
Umpiring is now under the direction, crossing the desk of Joe Torre, who showed you. He's been traveling around with that guy to his right, our left, Jim Leland. His first year out of the dugout. 3-2. Got to look it. 2 down.
Watch the movement on this fastball. That's the devastator, I call it. The ball starts at the left-hander's hip and comes back over, traditionally known as a two-seamer. When you're throwing that ball 99, just forget about it. You tip your cap and you go back. You're not going to hit that.
Somewhere Greg Maddux is watching this going, I made a career on pitches like that, but they weren't humming in at 99 miles per hour. That's ball 1 upstairs. Michael Morris is the DH.
I still marvel, Joe, at how these guys can hit a ball that's thrown that hard. You know, Roger Clemens made a living called the Rocket, right? He's going mid-90s.
To his left and into center field. Escobar couldn't get there, and Morse has got his second hit of this World Series.
The ball kicked up on him and got into the infield. We saw Crawford on the ground ball and kicked on him. Watch this one. He thinks he's got it and it kicked on him with the high hop.
That's the second hop, and we talked about this last night. The Royals like to keep the ground in front of home plate very hard and wet. They hit more ground balls than any team in baseball, and this time it aids the Giants. The overspin there, it's exactly what he's talking about. That second hop took off on him.
The inning will continue for Travis Ishikawa, who hit .311. Runners in scoring position against right-handed pitching during the regular season and postseason. That was really a number he could hang his hat on. But as you talked about last night, Harold, a guy who started the year as the first baseman for the Pirates, was cut loose in April, went back to the Giants, was there in 2010 and won a ring as a part-time player. Now he's the everyday left fielder. Cheated out of a swing there, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a great story, and he's a good guy. And look at his season this year. Pirates, Fresno at AAA, more games there than in the big leagues combined between Pittsburgh and San Francisco.
And I thought the other part of it, such a human element of the game, is that he wasn't around his family for 13 months.
There's a 1-1. That should end the inning. He does. Royals coming up in the bottom of the second. Perez and Fontaine Moustakas. More driven. Here's Salvador Perez. Homered last night. The only run of the night for the Royals. Came late. Made it 7-1. That's how it ended. But that had to feel good for a guy who has struggled hitting the ball at the end of a long year catching for Kansas City. He floats one over to first. 1 out, caught by Belt.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job of documenting his season last year. To catch that many games and to have this break has clearly allowed the bat to get through the zone a little bit better now with the rest. He's actually got his legs underneath him now as a hitter. And I know it wears you out catching back there, bending every day.
Here's Infante, who was with Detroit, who played San Francisco back in that 2012
Do they
season.
bend or do they squat? They
Squat.
Yeah. Squat.
That's what Ned Yost, the manager of the Royals, used to do. He was a backup for the great, and I mean great, Ted Simmons. The Milwaukee Brewers, when the Brewers were in the World Series back in 1982, got into the action in Game 6. Yelling at himself, it counts 2-0.
Oh, he's entertaining, isn't he? Just spiked this one in the ground, a 55-footer, and the monologue began. Jake talking to himself.
Come on, Jake.
That's hit in the air to left. Ishikawa won't get there. And Infante has got a one-out double.
Well, you saw Jake spike one. No one can hurt you on a ball in the dirt, but they can hurt you when you hang one like that. And that's exactly what Infante does. Hooks his ball over Ishikawa's head. Just a floater up in the zone he took advantage of.
Good piece of hitting. You know, it was amazing watching Infante bounce back after being hit in the face earlier in the summer. He had to wear the mask for a while to cover the side of his cheek. Back playing.
And standing at second with one out. Shift on in the infield for Moustakas. One out. Ball one outside.
I think this is interesting, too, how the defensive position, because Infante can steal. He may steal third base, and it forces Sandoval to kind of play fair, but that's a throw on the run for Buster Posey. So something to keep an eye on as this series continues if we have this situation a few times.
It's interesting, guys, to watch as that catches the corner. Joe Panic, the young second baseman, take ground balls before the game here last night, right in that spot. You don't see second basemen do that very often, but they have to figure out how the ball's going to move on that grass out in the outfield.
Yeah, the ball could definitely snake on you in that outfield grass. Second baseman not used to it.
Off the end of the bat, Blanco coming on. He's there for round number 2.
Joe, I'll go back to the workout on Monday for the Giants. They had the music blaring, BP going on. All of a sudden, they turned off the music and spent the next half hour working on things you would see in spring training. Pickoff plays and bunt plays. They know what they're up against in the Kansas City Royals.
And I thought it was pretty cool to see watching Panic work the other day out in the outfield. We watch a lot of games. We go to a lot of batting practices. I hadn't seen a second baseman stand out in right field and really take the ground balls to the left, to the right, in the grass, make the long throw. It's a different look.
Smart kid. Runner at second, 2 out. Escobar has put the Royals on top. Their first lead of this World Series. 2-1.
Joe, if you don't pay attention, they will put the heat on you instantly. I wanted you to be able to hear that at home, the reaction in the ballpark, take you right inside on those replays even. You hear how loud they are. But I like the fact that they're aggressive. Don't overtalk, don't overthink. Don't get up and go get that soda or that beer because they're swinging. They're coming at you.
That's one place where Jake Peavy has been hurt this year. Batters hitting .458 on first pitches. Royals love to swing early in counts.
A little different story tonight. Here's Aoki. 2 doubles in the inning. Infante with 1 out Escobar with 2 out. Naoki, who's been hot since the end of August, flat out to center his first time, stepped out, now back in. Strike one.
I think part of the aggressiveness too, Joe, is the fact that they have seen Peavy enough. When you're familiar with a guy and what he might throw, it allows you as a hitter to go up there and get your pitch that you're looking for off of that particular pitcher and now let it go.
That's in the left. Ishikawa's there, and the inning is over. Well positioned defensively against Naoki. The Royals have their first lead of this World Series. 2 doubles in the inning. RBI Batman Escobar 2-1. Can't. It makes sense that in this ballpark, Kauffman Stadium, with the fountains out in center field, to right center, left center. As Crawford takes a 93-mile-per-hour pitch for strike one. 2-1 Kansas City, 3rd inning. The coolest features in any ballpark, any stadium in the country. Here's the 0-1 from the rookie Ventura. Not hard hit. It's Infante. 1 out.
Well, we're starting to see him mix in some changeups and keep hitters off balance now as well.
George Brett threw out the first pitch here tonight, and it wasn't a lob job. He's the Royals' all-time leader in hits, home runs, RBIs, and games. Beloved here for good reason. He was right there the last time the Royals were there and won it all. His number retired. John Wathan was catching that first pitch. He was a part of the championship team in 1985. 1 out. Here's Blanco. He homered his first time. Strike one.
Coming right back at it, but I'm curious because Blanco saw nothing but fastballs in that at bat. 6 or 7 fastballs. He kept fouling them off and then hit the homer. I want to see if he goes off speed at all in this at bat.
Back out of there, taking all the way, strike 2.
It's unusual, huh? 0-1 pitch he was taking all the way and got yet another fastball. It's been 10 in a row. Fastballs, Ventura to Blanco.
Does the kid change it up? Not with that.
Well, you can see 0-2 counts. That's the second time now we saw it with Pence. You can actually see him reach back a little farther, literally, to find a little more.
He just turned 23 in June. That missed. First off speed that Blanco has seen. 2-2.
I always thought as a leadoff hitter, this is the decisive pitch for a pitcher. Because as a leadoff hitter, you're going to get a fastball. So if they want to throw you a breaking pitch on 2-2 and they miss, I know I'm getting the heater 3-2. So this was always a big pitch.
Coming with a heat. And Hosmer to the bag. For the out.
Talked about him last night, how smooth he is. I just love the way he moves and makes plays. This is a terrific go down and bring the glove up to pick it, and then the foot race and the dive. Court awareness, Tom. Understanding where you're at.
He's the best first baseman in today's game for me on the in-between throws, the in-between hops to first base. That ball was hit like an in-between hop on a throw to first base.
Toughest part of the play was getting out with Blanco, who can run, realizing that Ventura wasn't close enough, and going and getting the out himself on his belly to the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike on Joe Panik.
It looked like he's about 7 feet long, but he was able to get there.
He did.
He laid out. He's already, what, about 6'4", 6'3". But he looked like 7 foot right there. Gumby just stretched his body out.
Strike 2.
How far he leans and lays out. Right there.
Hard hit base hit off the bat of Joe Panic. And the third inning, the top half continues on a 2-out hit for the rookie second baseman.
This kid is amazing. It's almost like he enjoys getting into 2-strike counts. He's just able to cover soft and hard on 2 strikes. Look at the balance here. That's that 2-seamer coming back over the plate. Once again, it's the flat plane of the swing. You see this a lot of Giants. I think Panic and Pence better than anybody at keeping that barrel in the zone for a long time.
Here's Posey, who has not gone deep this postseason. 1 for 6 in the World Series, but he's been locked in. Strike 1. Joe Panic's brother Paul tells a story. Grew up in Hopewell Junction, New York. Joe was in high school after a tough loss during high school play. John Jay, that's the high school he went to, his rivals. He was so mad he couldn't sleep. He went outside somewhere around 2 a.m. Kept taking endless swings. Here's a barehanded try. It's Infante with a play. And after the hit by Panic, finish the story later, the defense shows up for the Royals in the inning. Hosmer with a play. And now for the Royals, they're happy. Ventura missed it. Escobar and Infante in the middle. Infante made the play. 2-1 after 2.5. Kansas City here in the third inning, up 2-1 against Jake Peavy. Lorenzo Cain ready to launch, but he jerks it foul. Cain doubled and scored his first time. We look ahead. Travel day tomorrow, and then on Friday. For Friday, Saturday, Sunday in San Francisco. That great scene at AT&T Park. Jeremy Guthrie, his numbers this postseason. Tim Hudson, his good numbers this postseason. Coverage begins again at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. That starter for the Giants, Tim Hudson, the veteran, who spent a long time trying to get to the World Series, hanging around in the dugout. Interview with Tim is brought to you by DirecTV. Get to you in a second, Tim, after the 1-1 pitch to Cain. Tim, you pitched a lot of games in this park when you were in the American League. This place is buzzing like I've never seen it or heard it before.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the atmosphere has been great. The fans here have been really into the game and supporting their club. Obviously, last night we they didn't have a whole lot to cheer about last night, but nights you can hear them tonight for sure.
You're the major's active leader in wins with 214 before this season. How many wins would you have traded to get to the World Series?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, that's a tough one. Probably all of them. Honestly, it's been a long journey to get here. I'm excited that these guys, we've put the work in and the time and effort all year to get here, and it's been well worth it.
Cain flies out to right to Hunter Pence, one away here in the third inning.
Tim, as you get ready for your start on Friday, it's kind of getting ahead of things, but I got to ask you, is it what you thought it was going to be, the World Series?
It is. It's everything I thought it would be and more, obviously. The older you get, and not having to achieve that goal of getting here and trying to win a World Series, the more special it seems to be. And these guys have had a lot of success here, and a lot of these guys are on their third World Series, and I'm just feel so thankful and blessed to be here in this dugout with these guys and have the opportunity to win with these guys. It's been a fun journey up to this point, and hopefully our fun is just beginning.
So Timmy, I got to ask you, 16 years, more than 3,000 innings. How did it feel last night to be standing out there on the line for Game 1 World Series?
It was awesome. It was really great. Something you think about. It's as a kid growing up, you think about getting to the World Series, getting to the big leagues, getting to the World Series, and to be able to stand out there and to see the World Series emblems and all the fans and my family up in the stands. It was just it was very special, and I couldn't have asked to be with a better group of guys.
One of your teammates, Jake Peavy, deals, and Hosmer rolls over to second. That's panic, and that's 2 out. Jake Peavy has different stuff than you, Tim Hudson, but a veteran right-hander, and you can tell he's going to battle here tonight, as he always does. This is not an easy lineup to pitch to because they can left and right you to death.
Yeah, they're challenging. They're very dynamic. They have a lot of ways they can hurt you. And when Peavy goes out there and battles, I'm going to tell you what, he's as tough as nails. He's going to go out there, and you're going to know you've been in a dogfight whenever you're taking that box against Peavy. Regardless of what kind of stuff he has on any given night, he's going to go out there and he's going to lay it all out and do the best he can. And I love watching him compete. He's an emotional guy out there, and like I said, man, he's a fellow Alabama boy, so never know what you're going to get.
Hey, real quick, can you let the running game of Kansas City overwhelm you? And by that I mean, can you lose your focus worrying about what's going on at first instead of what's going on at the plate?
Well, I guess you could, but I feel like we have some guys that can go out there, can control the running game, and at the same time make quality pitches. You just have to be able to go out there and change your times and be quicker to the plate. That's all.
We'll have some fun on Friday. We thank you as always for joining us here tonight.
You bet, fellas.
That's the veteran right-hander Tim Hudson pitching in the World Series for the first time. 2 nights in San Francisco. They're through 3 in Game 2. 2-1. Royals on top. This is more like we're used to in postseason 2014. Tight game, well pitched, well played defensively. Ventura to Sandoval. And a fly ball into center. Kane is back on the run. He's there, and he can't make the catch. Sandoval will dig for second and hold there. Kane gliding back into center, did not get there, got a glove on it. And it's a runner at second, nobody out, and there's Sandoval on base again.
Tell you what, this ball's hit better than I think Kane thought, and the flag started blowing right before this inning. And when you said this is more like what we're used to in the World Series, I thought you meant the weather. It got a little cooler, the wind started to pick up, and I think Kane, he turned a couple different times and wasn't able to run it down.
It's a double for Sandoval, and that's now 25 straight postseason games. He's reached base.
See Kane looking up at the flags himself.
Here's Penn, strike 1.
Amanda's doing it though. Sandoval. He's having an incredible postseason. That's why we highlighted it before the game. 25 straight games he's been on base. Isn't that what you said?
Just an incredible, just an incredible athlete. That's off the plate. Escobar. Runner holds out at first, 1 away. Hunter Pence cannot advance the tying run to third. To think about Pablo Sandoval, and you touched on it, a kid who grew up, and he is a left-handed batter naturally. He didn't really start switch hitting until he was 13. He can throw the ball across the diamond left-handed. He can pitch left-handed. He's got great hands. He's a big-bodied guy, but he is a tremendous athlete.
Catcher until he got to the big leagues, moving to third.
Runner at second, 1 out. They still talk about the Giants organization, a play he made in the minor leagues, where he was over at third, knocked the ball down, lost his glove, picked it up, threw the ball to first left-handed, and got the out.
He told us he doesn't just throw lefty, he's got a curveball and a changeup left-handed.
Here's the 0-1 to Belt.
If you don't think other players influence you, how about Sandoval from Venezuela? Until he's 9 years old, he was a left-handed thrower, which we're talking about. He was a natural left-handed thrower. And then Omar Vizquel was his hero. Well, Omar's a right-handed throwing shortstop, so he started throwing right-handed at the age of 9. That's remarkable. It's mind-blowing.
He's the tying run at second. That's into right. Belt with a big hit. Digging around third. Sandoval. Tie game. Aoki kicks it in right. Belt's going to stop at second. After a wide turn, it's a 2-2 game. RBI double, Brandon Belt. And Sandoval crosses the plate to make it 2-2.
Great job staying on this breaking ball just past the glove of Hosmer. I don't think that bobble cost a base at all. Belt was on his way to second anyway.
Now Belt at second with one out from Michael Morse. Pence couldn't move him over. Didn't matter to Belt. Ball one up and into Morse.
Well, we've watched a lot tonight and last night. We watched Alex Gordon dive, cut a ball off in left center field. Aoki's left his feet a couple times. We watched Kane go wall to wall, left center, right center. This ballpark is so big, you have to use every fiber you have to try to make a play to keep the ball in front of you from being an extra bases, more than second, but with a triple at third. It changed the whole half inning.
This is a ballpark that's actually like another player. It has a personality, influences the game with all that space you have to cover in the outfield. The most square footage of any American League ballpark. Outfield defense, extremely important.
Here comes a 1-1 to Morse. Go ahead run at second. Now strike two. And I think if you went out there right now and asked Lorenzo Cain if he should have made the play on the ball hit by Sandoval, he'd tell you he got fooled a bit.
He'd be the first one to say I should have had it. No doubt about it. He had a beat on it. I think he kind of glided with it. That's why I thought it got caught in the wind. Normally you'll see him take off and go get that ball, but he knows that's a ball he can catch.
Now the 1-2 to Morse. 2-2.
I just think he ran a long way for that ball. Yeah, he thinks anything, if he gets glove on it, he can catch it, but again, the yard impacts the game. He ran so far. The ball Hunter Pence hit last night that carried out of here, just the 11th home run hit to dead center field in this park all year. That's how big it is.
Giants have tied it. Have a chance for the lead here in the fourth. It's popped up. Aoki to his left.
Yeah, when you can run like Kane, sometimes you become a victim to your tools. You know, a lot of other guys are not getting to that ball. That's a ball bouncing off the wall, and one hop to the wall, a triple possibly. And he's there dropping it when most people are not even going to get there. But I'm with you, though, Joe. If you ask him, he would still tell you. I know the yard's big, everything else. He'll still tell you, I think I should have had that.
2-2 the count on Morse. Belt at second, one out. Brandon's tied it with a double. A check swing. He didn't go in a full count.
You're seeing so many check swings because he throws so hard. You have to start your bat when a guy's throwing 98.
The at-bat continues to the dismay of Yordano Ventura. 3-2. Out of play. Giants now in this World Series have gotten their leadoff man on base 5 times. All 5 guys have scored. That includes Pablo Sandoval with his double into center to start this fourth.
I think it's a good conversation at the mound. Just slow it down for a second. You can watch a lot of emotion out of him, calm him down. This is big. The game can get away from you right here with Mike Morris at the plate.
Royals won 12 of Ventura's last 14 starts. Tied here tonight. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Should be played. Aoki is there. Belt tags, but holds. And now he's going to think about it. Gets caught. And he's out. It got away. And Belt strayed too far. And a bad throw from Aoki leads to the inning ending out at second. Nobody was at third. Belt trying to get back. The tag by Infante. No sign of Bruce Bochy for a challenge. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Up 1-0 to San Francisco. Gordon digs his way in. He fouled out to left his first time. Gordon, Perez, Infante. But he gets on the number 9 man, Moustakas. Strike one from Jake Peavy. We had a couple of looks at that play at second base with Belt. Our final look that we had showed that the tag was there by Infante, and it was a good call by Ted Barrett. Really good umpire out at second base to end the inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And really, Belt can tell you all you need to know. He didn't argue at all.
Yeah, I thought that was the telling point we were discussing during the commercial break when he said the runner will tell you everything.
Comes a 1-1 to Alex Gordon. Down and in, 2-1 from Peavy. While we showed you Ted Barrett out at second, our thoughts are with the great Doug Harvey, Hall of Fame Major League Baseball umpire, who is in the hospital watching the World Series. Thinking of you tonight. Here's the 2-1. Gordon gets under it, flies it to center. That's Blanco twisting. Which tells you how much wind is involved here tonight. Here's that definitive look at second. The tag on the helmet by Infante. And with that, our interview with Jeremy Guthrie is brought to you by DirecTV. Jeremy, how you doing down there in the Royals dugout?
We're doing all right, gentlemen. Thank you.
You get the ball coming up next on Friday. Your first tour through the postseason. I know this, the little I know you over the last couple of days. You're having fun.
Well, I think that's what it comes down to. You know, an opportunity for us, myself included, that you know, you don't always expect to get, and being here, you want to really soak it in and enjoy every moment of it.
As you watch these games last night, tonight, you're looking at this Giants lineup. And one thing we talked about coming on the air, you get the ball on Friday. Sandoval's hitting anything that's thrown up there. Pence is, it's almost impossible to put it in one spot and think you're going to get him out. This team is hard to pitch to right now.
Absolutely. Very diverse. You know, all kinds of hitters, patient hitters, speed guys, power guys. The guys you mentioned that can hit any ball, the good ball and the bad ball. So, you know, it's going to be about executing pitches, and you know, you have to get some good fortunes on your side as well, where they hit it and make a good play.
Hey, Jeremy, how much does it help you having pitched against them within the last couple of seasons?
Well, I think obviously familiarity helps both sides. Helps me to know maybe what has and hasn't worked, and they're also a little bit more comfortable in the box, having seen me. So I think this may be my 4th or 5th career start against them, and you know, a few of the faces are familiar and some of them are new.
So Jeremy, take us through what your prep work will be like in the next couple of days.
Well, certainly watching these games, you know, whether it's on TV a little bit inside or out here on the field, try and get a feel for what they're doing, make some notes, mental notes on when they're aggressive or when they've shown that they'd be aggressive, and you know, overall find pitches that seem to get the people out more often than not.
Good play here by Crawford. Good luck on Friday, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
He gets the ball against Tim Hudson on Friday in Game 3. Tonight, Game. First pitch, 5th inning. Outside ball 1 to Travis Ishikawa. Fouled out his first time. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. By my count, and don't go by this or take it to the bank, Yordano Ventura is at 200 total innings on the year. Regular season, postseason. That's a check swing. He went too far, strike 2. And Tom, this is a kid. Just turned 23 in June, so it's interesting with the workload on that right arm, how he goes from here on out.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Even 200 right now. Last year, the odometer, 150 innings. The year before that, 109.
So a big jump up. 2-2.
That's not exactly a Madison Bumgarner body out there.
And that's 4 straight breaking balls or off-speed pitches to Ishikawa. He ended up throwing him changeups back to back. He hasn't shown in the fastball. Still doesn't want to. Started to go. Had the breaking pitch. They threw the fastball down. He had to step off, went back to curveball, and started to go.
He faked out Eric Cooper. The umpire called time. Check out these pitches here. That 1 to 100. It ties a World Series record since they started measuring these things back in 2007.
That's just outside, ball 3. You sense a little unease in this stadium right now. Giants got the lead in the first. Royals tied it, took the lead in the second. Giants tied it in the fourth. Down 1-0. That's into center field. Leadoff man is on. Ishikawa has his first World Series hit here in 2014. World Series is back in Kansas City for the first time since 1985. Down to Aaron Edwards we go.
Yeah, and you're talking about these fans feeling a little uneasy. They deserve to see a good show because they paid for it. Let me tell you, tickets not cheap here. First of all, average price about $900. Cheapest $400. Third base side, which is what I'm on right here by the visitors dugout. Somebody told me they went for as much as $5,000, guys. No joke. We talked to Ned Yost and some of the players that said they're getting text messages and emails from people they don't even know asking for a little help on the ticket side of things.
Yeah, somehow people are getting Ned Yost email. Starting with, "You don't know me, but I've been a lifelong Royals fan. Do you have any extra tickets?" People don't realize is after the 4 gimmies, whatever the number is, these players and managers have to buy tickets. Here's why there's such a premium and a demand for those seats. How many days between World Series appearances for the Royals? And they won it all in Game 7 in 1985. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brandon Crawford.
Well, it's a happening. People like to have that big event. Joe, you got some calls for tickets. I called you.
Rudd got calls. Stone Street. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Outside, ball 2.
You know, I didn't like the way they approach Ishikawa. You know, you throw him a bunch of breaking balls and then you get the 3-2 count. And what you're going to throw him? A fastball. He whacks it back up the middle. For some reason, he's gotten away from using his fastball. You can't get afraid of it now. That's the pitch you pitch off of, not pitch to get to.
Here is a 2-1 to Crawford. Infante. They get the lead man, and that's it. Here's another name. As we talked about the bullpen, Yusmeiro Petit for the Giants. The name Brandon Finnegan, a young left-hander who pitched in the College World Series this year, and at some point will pitch in the Major League Baseball World Series this year. And he's a left-hander that manager Ned Yost didn't want to show last night. We've all heard about the back end with Kelvin Herrera, Wade Davis, and Greg Holland, but Brandon Finnegan is a left-hander who is just nasty and right there in the middle.
How cool is that? 4 or 5 months ago, he's sitting in class at TCU. Now he's sitting in the bullpen at the World Series. Ned Yost said, "I can use him as much as 2 innings."
Here's Blanco. He's had 2 good at bats. He's homered. He's grounded hard to first. This one off the end of the bat. Infante out. He is there and made a tough catch look easy. 2 out.
Yeah, you sure did. And what I liked about it, when you play with guys all season long, you know their range. So he knew all the way, this is my ball. I know what Aoki's going to do. I know where Kane is at. So now it's my ball. And that's why he's able to make that over-the-shoulder catch without hesitation, thinking somebody might run into you.
Here's Panic. I know you're all waiting with bated breath for the end of that story. But Panic was so frustrated after a bad game against a rival high school.
I forgot about that. Okay, tell us the story.
Yeah, at 2 a.m. he couldn't sleep, so he went out and was taking batting practice on the Joe Mauer quick swing machine, but put wiffle balls in there because he didn't want to wake people up by hitting hard balls. And that's just this guy. He's smart. He's not fazed by the stage. He's a good kid.
You made us wait for that.
Well, I mean, hey, when outside...
At least I can sleep now. I got the end of the story.
You guys, you know what? Shut up. Too cackling over back to MLB Network.
That was cool.
And now Pete Macheska, our producer, says, Kenny's got a real story if you want it. Okay, Kenny, go ahead.
All right, Joe, I talked to his college coach, Panic's college coach, Ed Blankmeyer from St. John's.
Oh, we're getting this one in finally.
Yes, sir. Years ago, Blankmeyer was an assistant coach at Seton Hall, and he recruited Craig Biggio. Now, the one comparison he'll make between Panic and Biggio is in the way they approach the game. He says that Biggio wasn't the fastest runner, didn't have the best arm, but there was a calmness to his game and quietness, and Panic is the same way. And you guys have seen this. Everything he does, offensively and defensively, is short and simple. That is why he's so consistent.
That's a story.
It was
You
great.
get that? See the delivery? Got it in. The pitch. What the inning ended.
2-0 pitch. Into center. Go ahead, Harold Poland. Take us to break.
All right. Kansas City's rocking. It's tied at 2. Make sure you come on back. It's all right here on Fox.
Your seat today. 9-1-2 for the Royals in a 2-2 game. Bottom of the 5th inning. Moustakas first up. Then Escobar. Then Aoki. Peavy's done well. And he starts the inning with a strike.
And this is his biggest challenge, I think, this half inning right here. 9-1-2 with guys that are seeing the ball pretty good off.
Moustakas fly to center his first time up. 1 for 4 in this World Series, and as he's leaning into the pitch, he takes outside.
Well, he's been in a rocking chair. The last 6 outs needed only 18 pitches. But these are the middle innings where Bruce Bochy will watch him very closely.
Good low ball hitter is Moustakas. That's down too far. 2-1. Here's a guy who turned 26 this year, who was sent back to the minor leagues for a tune-up here in 2014, and he's popped 4 home runs this postseason. Hit just .212 during the regular year. Hard hit. Panic is there. And from shallow right gets the out. 1 down. Earlier tonight, we recognized Major League Baseball's Breaking Barriers program, created by Jackie Robinson's daughter Sharon. Breaking Barriers is a character education program inspired by barrier breaker Jackie Robinson. Students use Jackie's life values to overcome challenges and barriers in their own lives. Prior to the game, 9th grade essay contest winner Michael Andaloro is recognized, along with Sharon Robinson, Art Segalis, MLB Chief Operating Officer Rob Manfred. Here's Escobar. He takes a fastball for a strike from Peavy. Art is from Church and White Company Incorporated, a supporter of the Breaking Barriers program. So, nice moment before tonight's game 2. That one's down the right field line. It's foul. That's strike 2, and the name Rob Manfred is one that baseball fans or sports fans should be aware of. He is the commissioner-elect, the incoming commissioner starting next year.
Congratulations. He'd already gotten to work, actually, with the current commissioner, Bud Selig, put together a committee to study pace of play.
It's an issue baseball's been dealing with for many years. A strikeout. Peavy has made some of his better pitches here in the 5th. That's his first strikeout. 2 out.
He's done a nice job of settling down, using all his pitches, you know, being able to throw the hard ball in and then set him up for a cutter or a slider, off speed. He's doing everything. And I think that's the biggest thing that's been the difference for him, the adjustment he made from going hard after guys early to soft now late.
And that's just part of the pitcher comparison, which is brought to you by HP. There are the numbers. Peavy trying to match Ventura in innings. Aoki's in his way, not anymore. Fly ball into center. Blanco is back. And with that, game number 2 will head into the 6th inning. Who's coming up? Heart of the order for the Giants. Posey, Sandoval, Pence. Tied at 2. 20 by Rube Foster. Pitched and starred. And whenever I see any video, I think of our friend, the late great Buck O'Neill. Gerard Dyson takes over in center field. That pushes Lorenzo Cain into right as the Royals add to their defense here in the 6th in a 2-2 game.
It is a must-see when you come to Kansas City. 18th and Vine and Eagle League Museum. Buck O'Neill, I can hear Buck telling stories right now.
What a sweet, gentle, great man.
He'd be talking about this kid right here. Going 100 miles an hour.
Here's a 2-0. That's a strike from Ventura. The Royals are starting to get active in their bullpen. Meanwhile, an interesting defensive switch, Tom, with Dyson taking over in center.
You usually see those kind of moves with a lead. Tells you how much Ned Yost is prioritizing defense.
That's a strike, and the count 2-2 on Buster Posey.
And I think this is a huge sequence here for Ventura. 3rd time around against the heart of the order. Posey, Sandoval, Pence, the 3 best fastball hitters in the lineup.
That's down a full count as Kelvin Herrera, the hard-throwing right-hander, gets loose.
We talked about it earlier. With the off day, everybody's available in the bullpens.
For multiple innings. 3-2. In the air to center, and it skips into Dyson, just into the game. Posey is on with his first hit of the night. The leadoff man aboard for the Giants here in the 6th.
Well, that's a tough effort. Great job of keeping this ball in front of him. Takes it off the chest and blocks it. This guy takes ground balls every day. And this is one you might see in the infield. But what an effort to even get to that ball. That's a sinking line drive. I thought he had no chance at all. But because of the speed, he made it close. Look at this ball. He gets a jump and it's dying quick.
And it brings in Sandoval. Right now, the Giants' best. He's 1 for 2 tonight with a double and a run scored. His run tied it back in the 4th. That skips in ball 1.
And Tom, to your point, they're flirting with fire right now. 3rd time through. And these guys have had a chance to measure him, particularly Sandoval. This is where he breaks a game open for you.
The toughest assignment for a pitcher. The 3rd time around. Many games are swung. And starting pitcher the 3rd time around the lineup.
Broke his bat. Fly ball into right. Cain is there. 1 on, 1 out. And we'll give you a comparison here with current and former.
Yeah, now listen, there's not a whole lot similar deliveries. Ventura's more over the top than Pedro Martinez. But watch that right foot. You see that really swing across the body? Watch Pedro. Small bodies, big arms. The torque is incredible, and that right foot swings all the way around the body. And oh, by the way, Pedro really is a mentor to this young man. They talk all the time. How about this start? The last pitcher from the Dominican to pitch in the World Series, Pedro Martinez, back in 09.
Pedro will get him working on that Jerry curl pretty soon. He had the curl going. You can see it on the pirouette. Pedro, he was on the right with the curl. His a little dried up. So he's going to work on that.
Pedro was pitching with the Phillies in 2009 against the Yankees. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Pence. Left side. Escobar can't get the out. Kept it on the infield. 2 on, 1 away on an infield hit by Hunter Pence.
Boy, that was an oh my play. If you wanted the range of Escobar, you're only able to pull this off because you got Hosmer at first base. He sees Pence. He doesn't see him fall. Pence falls down, makes it close.
That's the only reason he even had a chance at the play here. Hunter Pence, it's an oil slick in the batter's box.
And now Ned Yost with 2 on, 1 out in the tie game. We'll go to that power pack. Ventura goes 5 1/3. Herrera. The Kansas City Royals believe they must have Down 1-0 at home. Here's Kelvin Herrera. The 2-on-1 out. And Belt at the plate. 101 from Herrera to start his night.
You got to be sitting there if you're the Giants going, hold on, timeout. We got rid of the guy throwing 98, 100. And then the first pitch is 101, timeout. And the young man threw a great game, too. Ventura, give him his props. He kept him in it.
Here's the 0-1 to Belt. That's hard hit foul. Broke his back. Herrera in his 3rd full season in the big leagues. He ranked 5th across all of the big leagues out of the bullpen with an ERA of 1.41, and his ERA was under half a run from the end of June to the end of the season, and he's been just lights out in the postseason.
And he keeps the ball in the park. Has not given up a home run since 2013. 420 consecutive batters. Rarely do hitters square anything up against Kelvin Herrera.
You know, I talked earlier, I marvel at how these guys can hit a pitch 100 miles an hour. There's an 0-1 count after the guy throws 101, and he pulls a 100-mile-an-hour fastball foul on the pull side. Incredible.
101 again. But again for Brandon Belt. Came in over his last 15, hitting .333. 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 1 for 2 in his double. Drove home the tying run in the 4th. He's been hot. Kind of lurking there behind the big 3. That number 6 spot. Ball 1.
How about that? A changeup at 91.
Changeup at 91. 3 fastballs at 100, 101, and 100. You probably wonder at home, do they look at the gun? Do players recognize how hard it is? Pitchers definitely look around. And sometimes hitters will. We talked to Matt Carpenter last series. He looked up to see how hard was the guy throwing to gauge how when I got to release the bat.
In the air to left. The Gold Glover to his right. 2 out.
This vantage point, you can really see the wind pushing that ball. It looked like it was going to be basically a routine fly to left, and it kept pushing to the corner. He takes about 15 extra steps, drifting with the ball blowing towards the line.
Now it's up to the DH, Michael Morse. 2 hits in the inning that chased Ventura. Here's Morse. Shattered bat. I mean, that thing is splintered. Strike 1.
I don't even know if you can use that in the fireplace. That thing was broke up so bad. Mercy.
That's just a buzzsaw cutting through lumber. Uses one of the biggest bats on the team, 34.5 inches. Watch this thing just helicopter away from him.
That Black and Decker ball he's throwing, man, just chopping up that wood.
Wow, so impressive, the Arsenal stuff.
Right overthrow, ball 1.
I like the high fastball, 101 up there. You know, when you get a ball down, you can get a little leverage and hit it, even if it's 100 miles an hour. That ball up high, 100, 101, it looks great to you. But that's, I think, the toughest pitch to catch up to when you're throwing that hard.
for the starter, no matter who it is, to get out of there and get into the Royals bullpen. Ventura loved the work by Herrera and Escobar. Still tied at 2. Jake Peavy has retired 10 straight. He's had great efficiency with his pitches. Kansas City thought they'd have him out by now. This is only pitch number 58. I undersold him. I said 4 or 5 innings. Here he is into the 6th.
Only 21 balls to 21 batters so far. But this is the key sequence. Ventura just faced it. 3rd time around, the 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Here's a 1-0 to Kane. He was taking and took a strike.
Another part of Kane's game is to drop a bunt. He was anticipating that a little bit. Got a breaking ball instead of a fastball. But I tell you, Joe, I undersold Peavy too. I thought they were going to get to him early in the game. He really settled down. Really has done a nice job keeping them off balance.
That's off the end of the bat into center and will drop in for a base hit. Kane's 2 for 3. And it will bring in Eric Hosmer.
Well, when you think about Eric Hosmer, I love the balance and stand through the zone. You hear that a lot, right? Look at the balance. How balanced he is, shoulder width apart a little bit more. And then the classic, take the line through the body. The head does not move. Look at it stay down on the ball. This is the ball he drove the other night that got caught in right center field. And then you get the full extension. But I love the fact of how long his bat stays in the zone. Right here, he can hit any pitch thrown. And that's why he's been so successful since coming back from the DL.
The Giants just got their bullpen active. So no left-hander is ready for Hosmer. Ball 1 outside. I was a little bit surprised to see that despite the efficiency, Tom, of Peavy so far, nobody was up at the start of the inning.
Yeah, I was watching the bullpen, and that ball had barely hit the ground when both pitchers got up. So they were under the rules and said, anybody on base, get hot quickly.
So Peavy has to work to Hosmer. Kane draws a throw. And maybe one of the reasons why Hosmer now 4 out of 22 lifetime against Peavy. But Harold, as you said, a lot of those numbers can be old numbers, and they don't really apply when a guy's locked in a series or in a postseason.
Yeah, and he's been swinging the bat better in this postseason than he has all season.
Showing bunt, taking ball 2.
I think the key there, too, is you see how much he missed by. We talked to Bruce Bochy before the game. What are the signs with Jake Peavy when you watch him in the middle innings? He said how Buster receives the ball and he misses the target by a lot. That's something to look at regardless of that low pitch count.
And that was no bluff by Hosmer. I was just looking at the defense and I said, this is interesting how they're playing it. Sandoval now has moved back over a little bit, but they were giving him a fun hit. He was going to take it.
That's down and away, 3-0. And Peavy's in some tight spot here with 1 on, nobody out, 3-0 on Hosmer. Butler next, the guy who has owned Peavy. This could be it for the Giants starter if he doesn't get Hosmer. Strike. Hosmer was willing to take a walk, and he is kept at the plate. Now 3-1.
And this will be interesting because Kane and Farr be running on the 3-1 pitch. They've been pounding Hosmer away. I wonder if he'll take that ball the other way. But I think Kane will be running. Posey will get a ball on the outside half. This will be a fun play right here.
Stays put. On strike 2. Peavy trying to battle back.
Kane didn't get a break. You saw when the way he came back to the base. He was looking to run there. He just did not get a break on Peavy. Credit Peavy for holding, getting rid of the ball quick. that runner at first a little bit.
An absolute full commitment in this pitch. That's why they want to talk about this. 100% commitment. Just thrown a two-seamer before. It was an excellent executed pitch. Where do they go next?
And I actually think the 3-1 pitch was a mistake. They left it out over the plate a little more than maybe they wanted, because they've been pitching Hosmer the whole night, off the plate or on the edge. If they're going to miss, they're missing away. He did not get anything inside the hit.
See those numbers there. It really reflects how difficult it is to work the third time around the lineup when you get to the middle of this.
Keep an eye on Lorenzo Cain and see if he takes off with a 3-2 count. Hosmer missed a month with a fractured right hand, a career low 9 home runs. Since he came back at the end of August, he's been hot. That's a walk to put 2 on with nobody out. And we'll see if that's the end of the night for Jake Peavy. It is.
Really surprised that Lorenzo Cain was not moving at all that whole sequence. 3-1, 3-2. Did not break.
Bruce Bochy calls for the big right-hander. It's Machi. With runners on at first and second and nobody out, Peavy got into the 6th inning, but leaves with the Giants in a jam.
Attention, please.
Billy Butler, early in the game with an RBI single to snap that bad streak. 0 for 17 with runners in scoring position. The Giants tied in the 4th inning. There's the night for Jake Peavy. He got into the 6th inning, but he leaves with 2 on and nobody out. And Billy Butler coming up against Gene Machi.
Machi is a guy who will pitch backwards. He will throw more splitters than fastballs. It's a wipeout pitch when it dives. When it doesn't, as we saw with Oscar Taveras in the NLCS, it gets hit a long way.
They're looking to get a ground ball right here and try to get a double play. They don't want that.
Cain and Hosmer the runners.
I was just going to say, you better pay attention. Hosmer can run on the back end. Cain can go to third. That double steal, you got a right-handed hitter up. It blocks the view of the catcher on the throw to third. It's a good time to pull it off if they wanted to.
Bullpen has been so good. It's just a well put together bullpen. Good with long relief, good with short relief, balanced. Bochy knows how to use it. Ball 1 to Billy Butler.
To your point, Aaron, watching Eric Hosmer at first base take his lead, he's not watching the pitcher. He's watching the runner at second base. That's his read, just to be on alert on the back end if he decides to go.
And the reason being, Tom, when you're the trail runner at first base, the lead runner has a green light. You got to watch and see if he gets a break. Great observation. I love that. You picked up.
1 ball, no strikes. And Butler steps out. You see Hunter Strickland now has joined Javier Lopez for the Giants out in their bullpen. Strickland was terrific here, ending game 1 last night. 2-0.
First time I've seen Bochy showing a little angst in the bullpen the whole postseason. Got a little nervousness, a little nervous walk going on. But here's the point Tom was making with Hosmer. When he takes his lead, He's not worried about the defender. Belt is playing over in the hole, basically. And he's positioned, lined up, looking straight at Kane. You can see him on your TV screen now. Very unique, but he's watching that lead run.
Machi hasn't pitched in a game in a week. There's a 2-0. Ripped in the left, but hard hit. They're going to bring Kane to the plate. Royals back on top.
Did you see the speed of Lorenzo Kane? My goodness, by the time the left fielder got the ball, he was just starting around. Here's the bullet by Butler. Ball in the middle of the plate. And Lorenzo Kane, when he picks up the sign, is flying the whole way.
112 miles an hour. That ball is scalded. Even though it hit hard with nobody out, it's an easy send because of Kane's speed and Ishikawa, the great first baseman in left field.
That's it for Machi. Kane scores. He started this inning with a hit. Lopez is coming in with Alex Gordon coming up. And the Royals are back on top in game 2. Butler and paid the price as Butler hit a rocket out into left. Now Javier Lopez takes over, as does Terrence Gore over at first, running for Butler. So good speed on with Hosmer and Gore. Nobody out. And the matchup for Lopez with Alex Gordon about to dig in.
Well, last night we watched Bochy go for the throat with the bunt to move runners up early in what, second or third or fourth inning. Tonight we're seeing the Royals do the same thing, going for the throat right here.
They've already used Dyson off their bench, and now Gore. Good pitch from Lopez, strike one.
I love the move of putting Gore in the game. Obviously, he can score on anything in the outfield and the corners, but without being held on at first base, this will be a tough double play for the middle infielders to turn. He will be on top of them in a heartbeat.
They're looking to score on a gapper right here if they get one.
Here's the 0-1. That's down and away. They groomed Terrence Gore for this role starting in August in the minor leagues. Dave Moore, the general manager, Ned Yost talked about it. Here he is. What a luxury to have a guy who can fly coming off your bench. Here's a 1-1 to Gordon. Popped into left. Easy for Ishikawa. Again, you can see the wind move that ball to the right of the left fielder. One away.
Well, that explains that ball Kane missed a little bit more. Back to Gore real quick. I've had a number of players as Bochy's going to make a trip out to the mound again. We talk about Billy Hamilton. You talk about D. Gordon. And you talk about Mike Trout, the fastest guys in the big leagues. They said, I'm sorry, but Mr. Gore might be right there. He and Dyson are right at the top of that bar as far as speed.
Well, Lopez's night is finished. With Perez coming up, and here comes...
Man, think about that. He's getting a ticket in the school zone.
So now 2 on, 1 out. And Salvador Perez faces Hunter Strickland, who really pitched well here last night. Struck out 2 in a perfect night. The rookie right-hander brings it. Strike 1.
I'm sure Eric Hosmer appreciates us throwing his number up there compared to Lorenzo Kane at 14 miles an hour. The big first baseman.
Yeah, he should be happy about that. 14 miles an hour is getting it done too. Now, if you're thinking about Hosmer maybe still in third, 3 for 6 in his career, hasn't attempted it this year.
Salvador Perez hit into 22 double plays this year, 3rd most in the American League. That's what the Giants are hoping for here. Just sizzling in at 97, strike 2.
I think they've figured out the problems of Strickland. He struggled against the Nationals and actually a little bit against the Cardinals, but my goodness, against the right-handed hitters that we saw last night and these first 2 pitches, very impressive. The angle, Joe, tough to pick up for a right-hander.
Perez homered last night, 0 for 2 tonight. And this one gets away from Posey. The runners advance to second and third with one out.
You saw how far outside Posey set up, because Perez will chase just about anything with 2 strikes, but not even this pitch can tempt Perez to swing at it. And really no shot for Buster to try to get in front of that one.
Now the infield creeps in. Hosmer the runner at third. Gore the runner at second. One out. The RBI chance a bit easier for Salvador Perez. And he is delivered into the gap. Both runs are going to score. And it's 5-2 as Perez delivers for the Royals.
Getting the ball out over the plate. You see the swing he puts on it. Squared it up sweet on the barrel. This is the one pitch he leaves out over. The other balls had all been away last night and tonight until that pitch.
The wild pitch was just too bad to tempt him. That pitch just too good to fool him.
Fonte only one out. Perez at second. And that great late relief for the Royals. We've already seen Herrera as a 3-run lead.
Well, last night Bumgarner took the formula away from him because he shut him down. Now we're seeing the formula being the 3 guys they want to get to in the bullpen you're talking about, Jim.
That's hammered in the left. Off the bat of Infante. It's gone. Benches come out. The Royals come out of their dugout as Hunter Strickland was screaming at Salvador Perez at the plate after Strickland just gave up his 5th home run of this postseason. It's a 7-2 game. But while Infante was running around the bases, Salvador Perez was at the plate and Strickland was screaming at him from the mound. Thankfully, nothing comes of it other than just the frustration for Strickland. He was telling Perez, looked like he said, get out of there, as he was waiting at the plate for Infante.
You called it, Joe. Nothing but frustration right there. You saw even Buster Posey trying to calm him down. The 5th home run Strickland has allowed this postseason.
Chris Bochy's going to get him right out of this game. And Salvador Perez, that look says it all. He has no idea why Strickland got so hot. The rookie right-hander's got great stuff, but he has now allowed 5 home runs this postseason, tied for the most ever for a reliever in a single postseason. Chris Narveson of the Brewers in 2011. We got action in game 2. The Royals have a 5 as they now trail 7-2 in the 6th inning of game 2. That ties a World Series record. 5 pitchers in 1 inning. The last time it happened in a World Series, the team using 5 in the same inning was St. Louis in game 7 of what was a blowout in the 1985 World Series here in Kansas City. I think during the break, Harold, I think you might have identified what happened that led to Strickland and Salvador Perez getting into it, giving kind of the benefit of the doubt. But it looked like Strickland was yelling at himself. Perez thought he was yelling at him. And then the two started shouting back and forth once Perez got to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things we see a lot in the big leagues now, is with the pitchers constantly yelling. And they're either yelling at themselves or sometimes they're yelling at hitters. But I thought in this case, he just gave him his fifth home run. He's immediately screaming in his glove, and I think the frustration boiled over. And by the time Perez is coming around, he hears him yelling, and Perez turns and looks at him, and now it's get in the dugout. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Moustakas is on with a base hit into center off Eichel. And the Royals are having fun here in a 5-run sixth. Let's take another look at what happened on the home run by Infante.
Now you see Strickland's yelling. Perez is coming around. He's walking off. He's still yelling at himself. And now Perez is going to react like, who's he yelling to? And now when Perez gets to the plate, he's talking to the umpire. Why is he yelling at me? All right, and now, by now, Strickland's saying, get in the dugout. And so I think that's what's going on. That's my interpretation of what I think happened here. Because clearly you can see that he's like, what's going on? They're both kind of mystified in the whole deal. That's how I saw it. Back to the game.
I thought Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, did a good job, as here's one off the end of the bat foul. Eric Cooper did a good job to pop up and get in front of Salvador Perez and prevent him from taking any more steps toward Hunter Strickland on the mound.
Did a great job. Jim Reynolds at first base on top of it. And Ted Barrett, the former amateur boxer, came all the way in from second base to make sure the dugout stayed calm.
Yeah, they did a great job of diffusing it.
Perez here is going to say, what are you talking to me? What did I say? Strickland saying, you got something to tell me? Come on out here.
Escobar grounds to short. Crawford to second, out. Hank in the middle, got it. And a well-turned double play at the end of a long half inning, a 5-run half inning. Strickland still hot. The bats of the Royals just got hot. They lead by 5 after 6. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Went for it, broke it open.
And Herrera part of that as well. Getting into the game in the 6th inning. Big difference between these two bullpens. It's really Hunter Strickland's inability to keep the ball in the park. Giants bullpen giving up 8 home runs this postseason. Royals just 1. This guy never gives them up.
Ishikawa first up, 1 for 2 tonight. Good fastball at 100 despite a 32-minute bottom of the 6th inning. Kelvin Herrera comes back out after finishing off the top of the 6th and hits triple digits.
Well, I called it the formula. Get to Herrera, to Davis, to Hall. And that's what Ned Yost wants to do.
Here's what happened in the bottom of the 6th inning numbers-wise. Ned Yost has been waiting for this really for a while now. They didn't score a ton of runs, the Royals, against the Orioles in the ALCS. They just shut them down with the pitching staff. 5 runs, 5 hits, 8 batters faced, 32 minutes. Ishikawa strikes out to start the 7th.
Again, Joe, it really goes back to the starting pitcher unable to work through a lineup the 3rd time in the middle. And there's that, once again, common denominator with Strickland this postseason. Fastballs over the middle of the plate.
How about Infante? A double and a run scored, and now a 2-run home run tonight.
Well, we talk a lot about the James Shield and Davis trade last winter, going out and getting Infante, a free agent, and getting Aoki over here in the trade. They thought that would change the whole dimension of the lineup, and it really has.
Well, Infante drove in 66 runs during the regular season. He drove in the most runs by Kansas City's second baseman in 25 years. And that's given you a lot at the bottom of your lineup. That's where they have him, hitting the number 8 spot. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You may as well just foul that pitch. That changeup, 92. Why are you giving him a chance? He's throwing 100 and 101 by everybody.
to show him something different once in a while.
And forget that. Show me you can hit it. Here it is, 7-2. Here's 100.
Missing at 100 with ball 2 on deck is Blanco, who way back just after 7 o'clock tonight local time gave the Giants a 1-0 lead with a leadoff home run off Yordano Ventura. He went 5 1/3. The starter for the Giants, Jake Peavy, went 5+. That's ball 3. You know the Giants aren't going to quit coming out. That's what they do. Is Tim Lincecum, who has not been used this postseason, gets loose. He was sick last night during the layoff after Game 5 leading into this World Series. Had been bothered by a stiff neck. Here's a walk. Here the Geico in-game box score for the Giants. Nobody with a multi-hit game. Blanco with the home run. A couple of extra base hits. That's it. One by Sandoval, one by Belt.
That looks like a box score that reads more than 2 runs, though, doesn't it? Putting up some runners on base.
Spread those hits out. We remind you on Friday night, Game 3 from AT&T Park. For as alive as Kauffman Stadium is, that may be the most electric scene in baseball in San Francisco. They will be packed in, ready to welcome their Giants back. At worst, the Giants will come home tied 1 game apiece.
I know you've been doing a lot more World Series than I have, but I've been to a few, and back in the old Yankee Stadium, that was one of the most electric ballparks, and San Francisco's at that level.
Here's a 1-0. That's my top 2, and now that old Yankee Stadium is gone, there's just a constant buzz out there, like there has been here in Kansas City. These are 2 stadiums that I think they project through a television set how much fun these fans are having when they're watching these games. Ball 1 strike. 1 on, 1 out. 2-1.
You know, Joe, one of their favorites, Tim Lincecum, warming up in the bullpen. It's interesting asking about using him last night. Bruce Bochy with a lead of 7-1. He said, I thought about it, but I really wanted to get Hunter Strickland out there and get him in tune to pitch in a high leverage spot. Didn't work out so well.
Last night he was good. Tonight, as Herrera's getting himself into trouble, missing up and away ball 3, 3-1. Tonight, Strickland faced 2 batters, gave up a 2-run double and a 2-run home run. And obviously for the young right-hander who's been through Tommy John surgery, the frustration boiled over. As Brandon Finnegan gets loose, the left-hander here in the 7th.
Yeah, I think the layoff, the 30-minute inning, with Herrera sitting around after being so hot the inning before, then coming back. And he got a quick out early. We're thinking he's going to be okay. But he's been scuffling since. That could have a little factor.
And stretching a lot after pitches. That's ball 4 to put 2 on. Back-to-back walks after the strikeout. And the rookie Joe Panik is coming up, and Dave Island, the pitching coach for the Royals, coming out.
Yeah, and he's typically been a 1-inning guy, Herrera. Has pitched 2 innings 4 times this year, did it in the ALCS. But I think the combination of stretching, getting back out of 2nd inning, and the delay, that's why you're seeing him not as sharp this time.
So the visit from Dave Island. You want hard hitting? Check out the firepower Fox Sports Live has in store for you tonight. Aaron Andrews, Big Papi, Swisher, Morosi, Rosenthal, Kapler, the Big Hurt. Bring you the best post-game coverage anywhere, plus an interview with outspoken Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. It's all after the game on Fox Sports 1. Giants trying to make this a game again after 2 walks. Here's Panik.
Well, you go to the heart of the order, and you're thinking you might be able to cruise. Now it gets interesting again.
Ball 1 outside. Panik regular season and postseason is at 361 from the 7th inning on. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
I don't like the body language of Herrera at all. He's struggling, you can tell.
And after walking 2 in a row, he's 2-0 and inviting the Giants right back into game 2. Now Wade Davis, the right-hander, is going to get loose because they don't have another left-handed batter coming up until Belt. That's still a few spots away as Finnegan gets loose. There's a strike. It's 2-1.
Well, this came out of nowhere because Herrera was rolling. And all of a sudden, boom, boom, he walks a couple guys, and now you got an inning.
This is only the 7th. So any damage done here by the Giants gets them right back in it. There's a 2-1. That's into shallow center. It is caught. And a good jump by Dyson. 2 out.
You know, a lot of guys freeze on the read step in center field or maybe take a step back. He almost freezes as he's coming in and then turns on the accelerator to go get it.
Nobody closes on a ball like this guy. As good as Kane is in center field, Dyson actually a little bit better covering ground.
I like what Ned Yost does with this roster. He manages to this ballpark. And the minute he can get more speed in the outfield in a tight game with his good bullpen out on the mound, he doesn't waste any time. Here's Posey, strike 1.
This is the guy they wanted to stretch Herrera to. You know, oftentimes in the American League game, you don't think about trying to stretch the pitcher to get to a matchup. This is the one right here that they wanted to get to. If they were able to get through Panik and get through Blanco, the 2 lefties, they wanted to get here and try to get out of it. I think this is his last hitter right here.
Strike 2. Body language for Herrera might not be good, but the stuff still is.
It is. It looks like he regained a little confidence. But he was all over the place for about 2 hitters. Purpose pick.
Posey trying to get his team back in it. Just got a piece.
They've been really pounding Buster hard, and we've watched a lot of foul balls go between him and the catcher and come back to the screen. This ball starts to come back in on it. And that's the foul ball we've seen a lot tonight. From Herrera, and also the first guy to start of the game. I'm moving my mind right here. Ventura. Ace Ventura.
Here's a 1-2. Shit in the air. Infante coming off that home run. Ends it with a play at first. And Herrera shuts down the Giants after the 2 walks. Baseball director ever born, Bill Webb. Welcome you back to game 2. Bottom of the 7th inning, and here he is, Tim Lincecum, 2-time Cy Young Award winner and a past postseason hero for the Giants. His first action since September 28th against San Diego. It was the last day of the regular season. 2 innings of relief through 21 pitches. He's battled a stiff neck and a stomach virus. Here he is. Here's Dyson. Flips it into left. Ishikawa the long way. And a nice play for a guy who's relatively new to the outfield. That was fair. 1 out.
Well, we've got a chance to see him quite a bit as you look at Wade Davis in the bullpen. He'll be coming in the 8th here. But my goodness, watching Ishikawa in left field, it looks natural.
The one thing we have seen, though, Tom, is the Royals are going to run any chance they get on Ishikawa.
Absolutely. It's a bad combination for Ishikawa. The running team and this huge outfield. However, didn't start playing the outfield earnestly until the last week of the season.
Off the plate, tough play. Crawford has to hurry, and he gets Kane. 2 out.
You see how quick his hands were on that? It's like a turn to double play.
Tonight's telecast sponsored by T-Mobile, changing the game of wireless. By Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. 2 quick outs. That's got to put a small smile on the face of Bruce Bochy as Lincecum has come in after that layoff, throwing strikes, hit 92 on the radar gun. Ball 1 to Hosmer.
Well, it's similar to when Danny Duffy came in a game last night. It's a situation where you want some innings from your pitcher, but the payoff may come later in the series. Get him back on the mound, maybe get him back on track. Maybe he can pitch in a high leverage spot at some point in the series.
Here's a 1-1.
I think that's an excellent point, Tom, because you get caught up game by game and you don't look at the full picture of a series. The managers always look at series and season. That's their perspective.
Right now, these two managers are thinking about games 3, 4, and 5 in San Francisco while we play game 2. That's why. Josh Willingham is in the on-deck circle, a guy the Royals plan on using when this series goes to the National League city. There's more pinch hitting involved. Hosmer strikes out on a pitch down and away, and that will end the 7th. Good work by Tim Lincecum. We go to the 8th inning of game 2. Wade Davis will take this Wednesday, October 22nd night. Game 2 of the World Series, Kansas City, Missouri. Wade Davis. Option number 2. Out of that great bullpen, hits the inside corner to Pablo Sandoval. With strike 1 to start the 8th, and there are the numbers for Wade, who came with James Shields in that deal with Tampa Bay when Will Myers, the top outfield prospect, went the other way. 96, 0-2.
They put him in the bullpen last year, and he said to Ned Yost, you know what, I want to pitch just 1 inning at a time, because Ned thought about converted starter, I'll use it multiple innings. Wade Davis said, no, I want to go as hard as I can for an inning. Velocity jumped up from 93 to 96, 97.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I really believe without the trade to Tampa, with James Shields and Wade Davis coming over for Will Myers, they would not be here today. It doesn't happen. They had to get the pitching. Oh!
That's a dangerous foul ball into the seats off the bat of Sandoval. Dayton Moore, as we talked about last night, the general manager, who was working with John Schuerholz. John Schuerholz is the guy who built that great '85 Royals team. Schuerholz is here, one of the best executives this game has ever known. And now Dayton Moore, who grew up in Wichita, took over here as the GM midway through 2006. Pulled off that trade. Was ripped for it in a lot of circles. A strikeout starts the inning. But the young guys around here knew once that trade was made and James Shields was coming to Kansas City, things were going to be different for the Royals.
Yeah, and Shields was the guy that made the difference in the minds of the players because they'd seen the success, they'd faced him, they knew what he was capable of doing. But I think they got more than they bargained for. As you see a nasty slider here, because he gave such leadership and direction to their starting rotation and to all their pitching staff, how to work, put a game plan together, things like that.
He was there for the turnaround for Tampa Bay. Strike 1 on Hunter Benson.
And that was a trade Dayton Moore really had to stay with. A lot of times the team will say no, and Tampa Bay was giving up a lot. He kept pounding away to make sure that deal was completed. It took really weeks and even months to finally get it done.
One around, strike 2. Pence 1 for 3 tonight.
break on that cutter is so late. That's why you're seeing the check swings from Sandoval, now Pence.
Giants getting a good look at what they're up against in the late innings here tonight. With Herrera, now Davis, maybe not. Greg Holland after Davis just to get him an inning. The hit by Pence in the 6th inning that chased Giordano Ventura, the starter for the Royals, and then Herrera took over, got out of a 2-on, 1-out situation. That is a ball to the surprise of everybody.
This is filthy. You watch him go away, and then he comes back with this cutter and starts right at Hunter Pence and breaks back.
2-2.
I don't know which guy looks crazier. I mean, either way.
There's a 2-2 pitch. 2 out. Officially. Tonight's stats brought to you by Better Money Habits, powered by Bank of America with Khan Academy. The Royals 7 runs scored tonight with a 5-run 6th. They've scored a total of 5 over the previous 3 games. It dates back to game 3 of the ALCS.
It's interesting watching Wade Davis here. He's throwing more breaking balls than he normally does. It's almost as if he's saying, you know what, the next time you see me, if it's a 1-run game, I'll be a different pitcher than I am tonight in a 5-run game.
That foul ball gives me a chance to salute our friend John Lowe, who today announced his retirement from the Detroit Free Press. Anytime you walked into a ballpark where the Tigers were involved in the postseason, you can see John in his hat. I don't know of anybody in or around the game that loves the game more than John. Straight to on belt, and just a walking encyclopedia for the history of the game, and a wonderful guy.
A great guy. I don't know anyone in the writing fraternity more respected than John Lowe in every clubhouse he goes into, not just in Detroit.
Just a gentleman.
All you had to say was the hat, and you knew who it was.
Here's the 0-2. Hard hit. That's Hosmer. Davis, inning over. Belt hits it hard again, but Hosmer showing what he can do. Bottom of the 8th inning, game 2, 7-2. Kansas City had his second no-hitter this year. Had one last year in San Diego, had one this year against the Padres at home. Now pitching out of the bullpen. Showed good stuff in his first inning in the 7th. As the closer for the Royals, Greg Holland, gets loose. Almost hit. Pinch hitter, Josh Willingham.
A breaking ball. It just slipped out of his hand. Tim Lincecum, I've always thought of his delivery similar to a Formula One engine. It's a beautiful thing when everything's on time. So many different parts. But it also requires a lot of maintenance. And seeing him out here now at first time in 24 days, he's obviously worked a lot to stay sharp on the bullpen. I think he's doing a very good job. The whole key for him, Joe, is when he takes the ball behind his back. That's the key timing mechanism for him.
This is inside ball 3. He is absolutely loved by his manager, Bruce Bochy. I think I've ever heard Bruce call him anything but Timmy.
Well, Timmy put up some good numbers for Bruce.
Oh, yeah. Here's a foul tip. Full count.
Speaking with him today, all the great pitchers he's had along the way, San Diego, here in San Francisco. Said, hey, where's Madison Bumgarner stack up? He thought for a while, and Timmy was pretty good in those 3 years. He was pretty good.
mentioned a younger Jake Peavy and Kevin Brown who we had in San Diego.
Well, Lincecum was special, though, man. Those 3 years when he was just lights out.
And he's still got it in him from time to time, as you said, Joe, with the no-hitter just this year. Just not on a consistent basis.
He was so good out of the bullpen in that 2012 run, and then was just dominant as a starter in 2010. Strikeout starts the inning.
Well, Tom, the Ferrari's out the garage tonight because he's working.
Yeah, he told me he's going to go back and work with his dad. His dad worked with him, obviously, at a very young age, really taught him to throw the way that he throws. You talk about a small body getting the most out of it. It's because of his mechanics, pure and simple.
Here's Alex Gordon. Not in on the fun tonight, 0 for 3. The Royals have banged out 7 runs on 10 hits. See who's done the damage. Escobar with a couple of hits. Renzo Cain with a double, a single, and 2 runs scored. Billy Butler with 2 RBI hits and a run scored. A 2-run shot by Infante. Salvador Perez with a 2-run double and a run scored. Stockis 1 for 3. That's up and away 2-0 on Gordon.
Yeah, good team effort tonight for the Royals. Even how Ned Yost used his bench.
Gordon was looking to launch on 2-0 and he pops it up. Sandoval with room. 2 out.
Here's what I'm talking about. Watch the wrist come behind his back pocket here. He has a word for this. He calls it dangle. When he can dangle the ball there and he's not forcing it up, but it's more like a whip action, that's when it feels right to him. And he didn't have that feeling late in the season. That's a good sign for him. That looked like it was a very loose wrist and a whippy action with the arm.
That skips in to Perez. Remember, he was the one that was in that shouting match with Hunter Strickland in that 5-run sixth.
That's the reaction from the fans. Looked like a breaking ball that just didn't quite get back. But after the things back and forth, your home crowd is going to react on your side.
You see him slip on the mound right there. No intention, obviously.
With everything we've said about Lincecum and what Bruce Bochy feels about Tim, he's come out of the bullpen. We've seen velocity. We've seen a good tight breaking ball. He's got that off-speed pitch. And not to make too much out of 2 innings in a 5-run game, but for a guy who hadn't appeared the entire postseason, he may be back on the short list for Bruce Bochy with what he's doing here tonight.
Totally agree. He's an option right now. He's just pitched himself into an option at some point in a leveraged situation. Of course, as you said, Joe, he's done it before in the postseason out of the bullpen. The manager has tremendous confidence, as does the pitching coach, Dave Bergetti.
Just defensive swings by these Royals hitters. The count stays 1-2. And think about where Strickland, the rookie, is, who had the good inning last night, comes in tonight, gives up a 2-run double and a 2-run home run. The 5th home run he's allowed this postseason. Maybe those two shift in the bullpen and in the mind of Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, I think we're in for a long series, and we'll see a lot of these scenarios unfold. Right now, I really think they're getting work in, getting looks on both sides.
Here's the delivery and the dangle behind him. I think right now Timmy's got an issue, something either with the mound or lower half of the body. Last couple of pitches really looking down at his legs. All of a sudden now he's going to get some attention on the mound.
He asked for the head athletic trainer to come out, and something happened on that last pitch on 1-2 to Perez.
Yeah, the way he was walking around the mound, I don't know if it's a dirt issue or a landing issue, but just didn't seem right. He's coming out.
Yeah, go back to the pitch he threw to Perez where it looked like he slipped and he tried to gut through the next 2, and the next 2 even more awkward.
So everything we just said, the good work put up by Lincecum. He leaves this game with an injury, which means that Santiago Casilla, who has been up, who is the closer for the Giants, will get a little work here in game 2, including the postseason. He gets a chance to throw in a game prior to the off day tomorrow, and then game 3 on Friday night in San Francisco. He inherits a 2-2 count. Salvador Perez at the plate. He got a big hit his last time up. Now he strikes out. By that from Casilla. It's as easy as it gets. Game 2 goes into the 9th inning. Greg Holland will take over. For the Royals up. Down 1-0, but leading tonight by 5. To roll into yours. Goodyear. More driven. Former 10th round pick Greg Holland takes over. He's the closer. The back end it is good. Late inning relief. This is the Royals' 10th postseason game this year, and for Greg Holland, his 9th appearance.
He's special, part of the formula that they wanted to get to. He's the main guy at the end.
He's the anchor. Susac, who's a backup catcher for Posey, is pinch hitting for Morse. And he's in the hole in a blink 0-2.
That formula you talked about, they call it here HDH. Herrera, Davis, Holland. Everybody in this ballpark, everybody on their feet.
Good rip by Susac, who is 1 for 2 this postseason. This place ready to, they hope, celebrate the first Royals home World Series win. As they won Game 7 in the series against St. Louis in 1985. Strikeout starts the inning. Perez will find it. Get the out. 1 away. Let's go back and look at the injury that sent Tim Lincecum out of this game in the 8th. That was on the first pitch of the at-bat with Salvador Perez, and then the last pitch that he throws cannot continue. Called for the trainer, called for Bruce Bochy. Despite pitching well, injured something lower half of his body and went back to get looked at. Here's Ishikawa, 1 for 3. Guys, think about where we were in the 6th inning, a 2-2 game. Giordano Ventura, the starter for the Royals, was on the mound, left with 2 on, and gave way to Herrera, who got out of the inning. That's ball 1. Yeah, then the fireworks in Harold had started the same way. 2 on against the starter Jake Peavy. He gives way to the bullpen. A combination of Monchi and Strickland could not get the outs. Result, the 5-run 6th inning and a 7-2 lead.
That's why the injury to Lincecum looms so large.
Strike 2.
If you're going to have those two, Monchi and Strickland, struggle, you're going to have somebody plug that hole, and that's Tim Lincecum. Now you're looking at, hasn't been a good night for the Giants if you go back and assess the game and as you get ready to move forward.
Duplicate scenarios in that 6th inning. The starting pitchers trying to get through the middle of the order a 3rd time. Neither could. Royals bullpen picked up their starter.
2-2.
Now, if you haven't seen Holland pitch, he's going to throw a ball 90, 95, 96, and then he throws the split, and he'll bounce it all over the place. He'll frustrate you. He'll have a full count, and he'll punch a guy out. Cardiac saves all year.
Ishikawa trying to figure him out. That misses, ball 3.
What's so interesting about Holland is his slider acts like a split. Actually doesn't throw that many splits. Hitters think it is, but it's the rare slider that has downward action more than side to side.
With 1 out, nobody on. Ishikawa strikes out, 2 down.
There it was, 3-2, and gets the strikeout.
this. Have we seen velocity tonight, guys? Ventura, Herrera, Davis, and now Holland. 95 and above.
Remember, the Giants won Game 1 of the NLCS behind Bumgarner. On the road in St. Louis, lost Game 2 in St. Louis, went back home and won 3 straight. Last night, the Giants won behind Bumgarner. On their way to a loss tonight. But off we go to San Francisco. Travel day tomorrow in games 3, 4, and 5 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. Jeremy Guthrie and Tim Hudson on Friday. Jason Vargas and Brian Vogelsong on Saturday. Back to the Game 1 starters on Sunday. Shields and Bumgarner.
I really think the tide turned a little bit today with the Royals. You look at matchups and thinking ahead, they've got a little bit of an advantage.
Broken bat. Little flare into right. Infante won't get there, and the game continues. Brandon Crawford on with 2 out.
And I say that because you look at the pitching and how the pitching's matched up. Here's his ball, just jams him. And I'm looking down the line. Also, I look at the National League game. I think their bench plays really well in a National League park.
And their defense, that's a big park in San Francisco like the one here. This is not your typical American League team playing in a National League park.
No, they play like an 80s National League AstroTurf team.
They sure do. Great way to put it.
2 out. Here's Blanco. Crawford takes second. He's not held on. Does not get a stolen base. About 3.5 hours ago, it was Gregor Blanco who last night got a base hit and scored a run in Game 1. He led off with a home run on a 3-2 pitch from Yordano Ventura. Smoked it into right. Strike 1.
And I think you're the Giants and you're looking for good things to happen on your side. Blanco's one of them. He's been an igniter. He's turned his game around the last 5 games. And then tonight to jump the home run and panic has been terrific. What a find with those 2 guys at the top.
They really miss Angel Pagan, but Blanco has done a pretty good job filling in. The leadoff switch hitter that Bruce Bochy loves in center. There's a 1-1. Strike 2. And even this series in a game apiece. And Greg Holland ends this night for this good Kansas City bullpen with an exclamation point as he strikes out the side. After Davis struck out 2, and after Kelvin Herrera went an inning and 2/3 of shutout baseball.
They played Royals baseball tonight. Bumgarner flipped it last night. Tonight, the bullpen, the running game on the bases, and Omar Infante.
Herrera gets the win, Peavy the loss. In a 3-hour, 25-minute game to even this World Series at a game apiece. And we take you down to the field and Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Sal, let's start with what happened after Infante's homer. Do you know why Strickland was so upset?
As soon as when I get close to the home plate, he just told me like, hey, get out of here. He started to look at me, so I just say, why you look at me? And he started to get mad, you know, so forget about it.
Now, right before that, you hit the 2-run double, 2 strikes. That, of course, led to the home run. What were you looking for in that situation?
He liked to throw a lot of fastball. So my approach is looking for fastball. He told me one slider before that piece. So the next piece, he told me fastball, and I hit it pretty good.
All right, I'm going to talk to Lorenzo now. Here, you guys are tight. Thank you. Lorenzo, first of all, what did you think of the Strickland incident?
I wasn't sure what was going on. I mean, right now, I still don't know what happened. Like I say, I guess he was upset. You know, he got a home run hit off of him. Like I say, we're going to move on from it, you know. Hopefully this doesn't carry over to the next series or next game. And hopefully we just get the job done in San Francisco.
All right, on that single by Butler, you were flying coming from second to home. They clocked you at over 20 miles an hour. How did you read that? Were you going all the way?
Great read. You know, I try to pick up, you know, the infielders and where they're playing and outfielders as well. And like I said, I just got a great read off the bat. You know, Billy smoked the line, drive to left. And like I say, I was hustling all the way around, and I was able to score.
Renzo, thanks a lot.
All right.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Well, this series is tied at a game apiece, as the Royals went to work in the 6th inning and then handed the game over to their outstanding bullpen. And for the Giants, their first World Series loss since October 30th of 2010 at Texas, which just delayed the